Hey everyone, I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'm just getting a little spinning bunch of circles at this point on YouTube. But what we're gonna do, we have let me give this a second and see if it loads for everyone, or maybe it's just me. Anybody else having this issue?
All I'm seeing is the black screen with the Disturbed God on emblem on it.
In YouTube?
No, it's not YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna refresh in YouTube and hopefully, okay, somebody can hear me. So I guess we'll keep on going on.
Oh, Danielle made it.
Okay.
Yep.
We have a late arriver. So welcome everybody. We're midway through the Rise of the Warlords, and we have the group together to discuss our experiences in the raid. I know everybody's quite upset with, well, maybe not everybody's upset, but quite a few people are probably a little bit miffed at the late nerfing of the prizes or the points for tier 5. But what we're going to try and do is just sort of give our experiences and our builds going through each step. And does everybody want to say hello? We have Disturbed One, we have Tito, we have Rich, we have Brian, we have Ada Wolf, and George / Dragonbane is supposed to be joining us in a minute or two.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
Howdy.
Sorry, we seem a little frantic. We've been having a few technical issues. Tito, if you want to go to the first slide. This is my slide. I'm the only one that was doing tier 5 of the group. So I was going to do it. Tito did some tier 5 and some tier 6s, but I only got his build a couple of minutes ago, so I'm going to incorporate that into the slides as we go. Basically, what I tried to do with this build was maximize my repair efficiency and siege deflection, or I'm sorry, assault deflection, in order to be able to go in and out of targets and whatnot with, and I'm sorry, I'm a little frazzled with everything that's going on. I'm sorry about that. But as you see, I have D5Xs, 3 D5Xs, and an S2 because of the different repair efficiency for the D5X versus the S's. Anything that's a single defense type has a repair efficiency of 0.6, so 0.6 seconds per armor point. And then I try to maximize my damage by using the strike warhead special. And if you'll notice, I do pretty much 61,000 damage per salvo. And I have a bunch of armor. I have 18.5 thousand with repair time of 2 hours 47 minutes, which gives me a repair efficiency that's rounded down to 0.54. Basically, I've been getting about 7 to 12 minutes of repair per target in tier 5. If you can go to the next, well, you can go to the next slide, Tito. Basically, what I've been trying to do is knock off the hulks whenever possible, because once you have a assault deflection above 140, pretty much all the concussive damage is minimum damage based on the data mining. So especially once you so the only problems that I have is the minimum damage from having all those drones firing at me. So basically on 71 and 75, I'm able to knock them out pretty easily depending on where the cavitator fields land. 73 is a little tricky. I mean, I just come in from the top and the bottom, and you can see based on this image here that you can get pretty close to the top one at about 1 o'clock, and you can get pretty close to the bottom one at about 7 o'clock. As long as the cavitator fields haven't fallen in the bad places. And then after that, I just treat my Hellwraith as a surface ship, meaning that I go in there, wait till I hit overload, and then just go in there and take everybody out. I don't care if I'm surfaced. I don't really care about the stuff because it's not really causing me any additional damage to be surfaced because of my assault deflection and the fact that I had a little over 95 explosive defense and 90 concussive. I think it's 90. No, it's 80. It's 80. It's 80. Yeah, it's 80. But once I go to overload, that goes to 90. And then it's already all covered up by my 160 assault deflection. Can you go to the next one? See, the problem I have with the 73, you can't get to that ship without taking out a few of the scouts. So I just take out a few of scouts. Where Tito took this picture is a very good example. I just take out 1 or 2 from the bottom and then take it out and then kill the drones and then move on from there. And this one is still 7 to 12 minutes of damage, and I'm just using a single haul. And what I do is I just swap out from one haul to the next, and by the time I'm done with one, the other one's repaired. So I don't really have a lot of downtime. I do have 3 hauls, but one has no ranks, so I haven't really brought it into the game yet. And move on to the 75, Tito. Yeah, see how it's fairly easy as long as the the cavitator fields aren't there, just to move around and just go around right to left and just take out the hulks and then just treat the rest of them like treat your sub like a surface ship if you do have the Hellwraith, because of the lack of damage that you take from being surfaced. It's really not any greater than it was before. And I guess that's about it for me. Tito's going to talk about his experience with the T5 in a few minutes, but I still need to put his slide together, so it'll be a little bit later on in the conversation. And who's next?
Me! All right, as you can see on my build, I have 5 of the fire torpedoes and 5 of the Charon torps. I'm using the D2S armor, and I've got the ablative 3 and reflective coating 3. I'm hitting the level 100s, doing very well. I have to repair twice. Fully dead, it's about 7 coin repair. The cloaking that I have on there is at 116%, but that will be changing from the discussion from the Wednesday show. It does very well. I mean, I do about 32,000 in almost 32,500 in damage. For me, it's working quite well. Tito, if you want to go to the next one.
Sure.
This is our Joyous level 100. As you can see, you've got 3 mini motherships and you've got 1 big mothership, and the big mothership shoots off the missiles at you, and when you surface, if you're not moving, it does strike you, and it does take about 1/8 of your life away. What I do is I usually go up to the top and I work on that 5 group, and then I'll come down and start working on that bottom group. And that's usually I can kill all 5 plus the 2 little reavers plus the medium mothership before I have to repair. And then I come back in and I go from the bottom and I work my way up to the top if I'm prepping for somebody, and then I'll leave the big mothership. If I'm not prepping for anyone, then I go full force right to the big mothership in the middle first, and then I come back in and go after the rest of it after I repair. I don't know who's next.
George, not sure if he's with us yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's here yet. One interesting thing is the Hulks, the smaller ones around the outside. They only launched 2 of the Reaver, the Hunter Killer mortars, while the mothership in the middle launches 3 at a time, and they both have the same reload time of 40. So if it's plausible, I haven't been hitting the 100s, is to hit the mothership in the middle first, because it's got additional firepower that the other ones don't. And we can come back to George.
Yeah, but as you said, sometimes it's not as easy because you have all those sonar pods in the middle besides the ship. So or you have to risk yourself a bit against the scouts, or you are not hitting the mothership as fast as you want.
Is that question for me, Tito?
No.
Okay.
Just saying. Move to the next one then.
Yep.
Okay, back to the hundreds.
Next, so I think go one more, and then we'll come back to George when he gets on.
Okay.
Okay. This is my Ghostcrawler. And what I use with the Ghostcrawler when I'm attacking, I use the circles to keep me from deep dive. So I can stay and whittle down to where there's a breath of life in each of the ships, and then I pull out and go into the channel where I'm not going to be elevated. And just before I go into deep dive, I hit them again and then kill the ships. And I'm trying to get it to where I have 0 damage, but right now I'm averaging about 6 to 8 coin. I'm trying to get the timing down of cavitation fields with my deep dive.
Do you have any Hellrace built, or you've been using the Ghostcrawler?
I have 4 Hellrace built.
Okay. Have you tried to combine them in any way? You know, like prepping out some of the things with the Ghostcrawler and then going in later with the Hellrace?
Yeah, I can do that, but that takes so much time because of the retreat issue. It takes a while because you're waiting. I go through and trim out that front line of ships down to a breath, including the big mothership, because I'm not surfacing, so they don't see me. And then I back off, and then I whittle them down and take them out as I go. But I run out of time, so I have to re-entry a second time. It takes a long time to do it with the Ghostcrawler for minimum damage. I'm absolutely certain that I could eventually get to where I didn't have any repair.
Okay.
If my driving improves.
And it's only 6 to 8 gold per entire 100?
Yes.
Okay. I'm looking at the build and trying to figure out how that. But you are deep diving though, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I deep dive. You
Okay.
deep dive for 5 seconds. And when deep dive, the explosion, the death explosion does not hurt you at all. You receive no damage.
Okay. Yeah, because otherwise, looking at the build, it's sort of hard to like rectify that without the deep dive. And I know some people are having an easier time with it than others. I mean, I don't have a Ghostcrawler. That's why I'm just sort of throwing it out there. I know Chris is going to come on in a minute, or Disturbed One or Disturbed God, I'm not sure at this point, and talk about his experience with his Ghostcrawler. But I don't have any experience, so I'm just asking it so you can talk about it and the people watching can learn about it.
Well, the deep dive is a 5-second deep dive, and when you're in deep dive, you cannot fire, nor can anything hit you. And the trick is to come in just before your deep dive and before the cavitation field activates and pulls you out of deep dive. Fire, go into deep dive, and not have the cavitation field bring you back up and kill the ship and let the death explosion happen, and then you receive no damage. But I use the cavitation fields when I'm whittling away, and because you notice I don't have any fire twisters on it. The reason why I don't have those on there is because I was having trouble with the timing with those. I couldn't. It was hard for me to whittle the ships down. They would die too soon, and I'd get extra damage because I wouldn't be in deep dive. My Ghostcrawler operates a little faster than a lot of them, though.
Sounds good. Anybody have any questions?
Other than the fact I want to steal his Ghostcrawler.
I'm more than 2/3 of the way to my second one.
Hack.
All right, I guess we can move on to the next couple of slides, and I'm still building slides if I seem a little distracted.
You have duplicated the number 100 several times, right?
Yeah, the idea was they could talk about their build, and then if they wanted to talk about any specific things that they were doing with...
No, just because I was wondering why I was getting always to the 100, and then I have figured out that you have repeated.
Yeah, I mean, after mine, because I was doing tier 5, I had the tier 5s. At this point, I'm still putting slides together, so you might have to go back to 100s or, you know, the 70s, because I'm not adding those in anymore for everybody. It's okay. I'm still putting slides together.
Okay, Chris?
Yeah, I don't bother with deep diving the targets. It's too much time for me, and I don't have the patience to do it. So basically, my build was to keep the cloak to as close to 100% or just over as I could with the explosive defense. And I do 100, and the only targets I deep dive are the big ships and the Hulk. And it's about 10 to 12 point repair per 100, and I can get it done in the 10-minute time limit.
Very nice, Chris.
Okay.
But it's,
go ahead. I thought you were
I
finished.
do the same thing Rich does, and I stay in the fields to keep you from deep diving, and I've got the resonance battery, which boosts my combat speed, my defense, and my attack when I'm in the field. So if I'm trying to kill something, I'm staying in the fields, because it gives me that extra defense.
Okay. Anyone else have to say something?
No, I mean, I guess with the Ghostcrawler and people doing tier 6 with the Ghostcrawler, there's a little less strategy on what you hit first. George says he's running a little bit late. So, and also Tito can talk to that as well, because Tito's going to be somebody that's using the Hellwraith, and there's more of a strategy on what you prioritize as a target first.
Yeah, I see that most of the owners just use the Ghostcrawler. Another one I have seen using a lot, and it was used by 2 friends of mine, is this combined with a Hellwraith. They keep the Hellwraith on the edge of the map, as long as you keep it on the edge on the map, away from any of those Hulk or mothership, you don't have to worry about those missiles getting to you. So what they do is with the Ghostcrawler, they go around all the target and just leave them to one single shot more to get them killed. So after they have done that, they just move away that Ghostcrawler, because I think they were not getting well with the deep dive trick. So what they are going to do is come with the Hell Ride, and it's going to just give the Cup of Grace to all the targets one by one, because for what it seems, you can get better resistance on the Hell Ride than this one if you are going to get the impact of the splash. So that is another tactic. It's more laborious, you will have to work more around it, but well, it's another way. Have you uploaded already my build?
Yeah, yours should be up there. I just didn't include the map, so you might have to go back to. You might have to go back if you want to give an example for the map set.
Well, this is the target I have been hitting the most. First times I was hitting, I was doing the rushing move, so I was using 4 Hellrays, so I was moving each of them to one of those single motherships, probably activating nearly everything in there. But as Pefe said, the Torbs and those sort of Gatling guns that they are shooting at us, they don't do much damage. So once those motherships were killed, I was moving the fleet back to one side, and just using one single ship, I was trying to kill them all. Normally, I lose 2 to 3 ships at the end, and just one remains. And I was taking, if I go with the Grease Monkey like I did yesterday, because I wanted to finish it fast, it was 4 or 5 coins. If without Grease Monkeys, it's between 8 and 9 coins I have to spend on each of these targets.
Okay.
But basically today without Grease Monkey, what I was doing is something similar to what Daniel was doing. I go for one of those motherships, because as long as you keep outside of these yellow circles you are seeing around here, the missiles just will fly to the top of the sky and then fall to the water without hitting you. So you don't have to worry. The worry is that you surface inside of these circles we see around here, because this is the max range that at the moment has, or seems it has, the HKM mortar missile, or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. But the I didn't really say you don't take. I want to be more specific. You can take a lot of damage from the concussive, but it's minimum damage if you have siege deflection. So that's why I tried to get rid of the drones first, because there's so many of them, and they also just distract your ship as far as what they're firing upon. But they're all doing minimum damage, which is it's sort of silly. I think your actual slide of your build is next, Tito.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but nope. Do we go backwards? What happened here? Can you hit refresh? Can you hit refresh?
I may have to refresh this. So
yeah, I've been updating slides the whole time. So George, you finally decided to show up.
Yeah, it was. We had a storm, so everything was backed up. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys.
No problem. Yeah, let's let Tito refresh.
I think I found now mine. Okay, I didn't send you. It's missing. My cloak efficiency is 100. So I did a hard time to get the spot when I wanted them to spot me to make those missiles drop on top of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other part that the reason I was asking for that part on the right was I was trying to calculate people's repair efficiencies, like how much damage, how much time it takes to deal with the damage inflicted. So that was the other part, cloak efficiency and a way to calculate repair efficiency. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, well, let me see if I am, because I took this away. I want it.
Oh, and Tito, how many ships are you hitting with?
I hit with 4.
Okay.
If I do the tier 5, like you were hitting on the 71, I get 20 minutes shared between the 4. So when I go back to the dock is install repair, I'm getting 25 minutes. That is wait 1 minute more or less with each of the ships, repairing one by one, and 31 at the end was getting this afternoon, hitting the 75. The reason you get a bit more damage is just because there are more ships in each of those targets than in the last one. But it was quite doable. I think probably 6, 7, 8 minutes. It's not always the same damage to all the ships. Sometimes maybe I have taken the same ship to finish more than 3 ships, and I was taking a bit more.
Okay. And do you own D2S or you don't? Do you?
D2S? No, I'm using D3S. I own D2S, but I'm using D3S here because I wanted to boost the explosive resistance because I didn't have these elements like the ablative and the explosive steel R15. I have, I think it's R7 the explosive because I was doing it now, and R12 is my ablative at the moment. But
Okay.
I was checking with Hagi, and I think that I will get to R15 ablative, and I will have the 95. So
Okay. Alrighty. Do we want to go back to? Are you done, or you want to go back to George, or should we go forward?
no, I can go back to George. Let me find his. Here it is.
There we go.
Yay, my stuff. I'm going to tell you the way this was built based on what we had seen in the test servers. And seeing the way that these S targets have ended up, I probably would change out that cryo battery for Hunter Special, because the amount of extra hit points they put on just sucks. And unranked, I mean, that's my highest rank one right now. For these, I do that split blitz in the S targets, and with a Grease Monkey, I can get it down, if everything goes right, to 5 coins. So it's not too bad.
Do you want to? I think there's a. I think there's a picture next of the map of the 100s. If you want to just describe the split blitz, I'm not sure everybody's familiar with it.
Well, in the split blitz, what you do is you start out like this, and you send your gunboat straight ahead, and the rest of the 4 of your subs, you just target all 4 of the big ships that send out the mortars. And usually, if I time it right, I can get the middle ship done first, and then that sub I'll help the Hulk in the back, and then I'll end up stacking, because it sets off every single scout. I'll stack the subs, and then I'll just drive around and pick one target at a time and get it below halfway for health. That way, when you finally die, when you come back in, you only need 1 Hellwraith, and you kill off everything inside of like 5 minutes, because everything's already past half dead. But you got to pay attention to all your ships at the same time. You got to stay out of fire fields. You have to be able to switch targets while you're driving on the fly. It's not an easy thing to pull off for the 5 coins. If you screw up, even with the Grease Monkey, it can get up to 7 coins.
Are you running the Grease Monkey during the attack, or are you running another crew?
Nope. It's all one. I only have 4 Hellwraiths, so I run the crew on that and run the whole thing.
No, I know that some people will swap out, they'll keep their Grease Monkeys at home in their dock, and then you. Okay.
I have no patience.
I'm
man.
just
I'm a lazy pirate. Although,
okay.
I think
some
that
people.
Go ahead, George.
Oh no, I'm just getting cussed out on another page for helping people out by prepping. I'm chuckling while I'm reading it.
Okay, because I was going to say, Jefe, that if you try that tactic to keep the Grease Monkey at home, I hope you finish the targets before you have to get back in, because there are a lot of people that is just waiting for you to fail and jump in.
That's a very good point. Yeah, people are going to snag your stuff. And the other thing is, too, is the amount of time it takes for your ships to get home when they're all dead sucks. I mean, you're losing that time on the crew the whole time.
But if you've killed all the big ships, you could lock it up with the Corvette.
But
Good,
when
yeah.
you kill all
But
the
do you
big
want to
ships,
lose that much
mostly
time?
you have done mostly of the damage. You have taken mostly of the damage also. Then you could use whatever, and all the people just have the job done.
I'm just saying, is so nobody steals it. If you die in there, but you've killed out everything that launches the Reaver or the Hunter Killer mortar, you could lock it up with a Corvette, and then as soon as you got your ships repaired or whatnot, you could come back and just kill off the Corvette and be instant repair it afterwards. Instant repair it on the water, and it'll take you 30 seconds. I'm just asking, trying to figure out what people, see if there's any extra details that are people might be useful to people. Okay.
So for me, the most important was figure out that the range of the missile is actually the yellow ring that we are seeing here, and that if you keep your subs out of those yellow rings, you are safe from those mortars. So you don't need to rush as I was doing the first day to kill those 4 big ships or the hulks and the mothership, whatever you want to call them, because actually there's no need. The first day I was taking more damage than need just because I was doing like George. I was killing the scout that was in between me and the Hulk, and then going for the Hulk all the time. Looking at the timer all the time to see when to calculate the 5 seconds that last all of these subcavitators rings, and then knowing that I have 20 seconds to kill them before they come back.
And so, George, what's the difference between the green and the red rings?
The green rings are supposed to be the outer limit of those, what do you call it, shells? The cav field shells. It doesn't work. They fall outside of that circle all the damn time.
Yes, they do.
That's what those green circles are originally supposed to be for, I believe. Unfortunately, it's a lie. I mean,
okay.
They might be something else.
Are there really green and red rings? I was making like a high school joke out of that, but never mind.
No, it's greenish yellow, the inside and outside around the Hulks, and then there's the red rings around the Scouts. The
Okay.
cat rings.
Okay, I'm seeing yellow and white, so maybe I'm colorblind. I was making a sophomore
My
joke.
laptop, I don't know. I mean,
I think unless you got anything particular to your build, maybe Tito, we can move on to Rich now, because I think
Rich, we already did.
Okay,
We
you
got
done
Brian.
everybody?
You
Okay,
got Brian.
I think we already covered them all. War Child probably is the only one missing. Did he join us?
I'm here.
Okay, this is the last one.
Yeah, I made an error building this one because I put those D5S armors on there, and they really kill you on repair time.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do all the fire twisters because if you do by chance get those ships moving, those fire twisters don't hit worth a damn.
well, you can mitigate that by getting close.
Well,
I'm
the
not
other
gonna do
problem, the other problem is you look at his build. What is he missing? Why his fire twisters don't hit?
Shield fire
Because
charge.
he didn't put the seal.
Yeah.
I don't have that on
That's-
mine.
But
either.
maybe he didn't get it. I don't know.
I don't
have it on mine either.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with the fire twisters. You know, the hull has an inherent boost to the projectile speed. Okay, if you get anything moving, and you can time everything right. I mean, this does require a little bit of skill. You can get right next to the inner ring of your sub to whatever target's moving, and beat the hell out of it because you're close enough where the Hellwraith will fire those twisters fast enough to hit. The only catch is when you get down to the very end, you have to start scooting away so you don't get hit with the bigger damage from the death explosion. That's the only catch. These hulls are built. I mean, these things are tanks. That's why I drive the way I drive saves me. It's cut my time in half, and it's only been a little bit extra damage. You know. And honestly, I'm thinking of taking my D5X off because I have I have one sub that has three D3Ms. I mean D1Xs. I'm sorry, 3 D1Xs and one that has 3 D1Xs and one D5X. And the difference, I tested it on the edge, on the outside of an explosion, was only 200. One was 2373, the other one was 2193. It was less than 200 damage saved, and it gives you a lot of damage to repair when you're dead after the first prep.
Are you talking D5X? Well, no, you missed the earlier part. Have you? And I'm not sure. I can. Are you talking about D5X versus D1X?
Yes.
No, D1X is
Okay.
what he.
I have one sub that has 3 D1Xs, one that has 3 D1Xs, and 1 D5X. And the
Okay.
one with the D5X only took like 180 damage less.
Yeah, I mean the well, I run with 3 D5X, and what we noticed in the data mining that was so kindly provided on the Dark Alliance site is that all the concussive surface damage that's avoidable, basically once you have a assault deflection above 140 is all minimum damage. Did you notice that?
Say that again. If all the damage above 140.
If you do the damage versus salvo division for the torpedo, the concussive Gatling gun, and all that kind of stuff, all
Right.
the avoidable damage, if you do that math, it's all minimum damage above, if you have assault deflection above 140.
Okay.
I can send it to you again. We could talk about the owner, and if the owner would let us put it up, I mean, I could have put it up here, but he's I don't want to put his stuff up unless I get express permission. But basically, you don't have. I mean, you missed how I was hitting the targets, I think, earlier, where basically I take out the motherships in the tier 5, so I don't have the drones anymore, giving you all that minimum damage. And then I just treat my Hellwraith, I just use a single one, and I treat it as a surface ship.
Well, are you hitting the S target?
No, I haven't hit it because it's I don't like the mortar thing yet. And I only have 2 of these. Maybe once I get bigger, I only have 2 that are ranked and built like this. I have 3 that are built like this, but only 2 of them have any rank. I have a 74%, 73%, and a 10%. So I haven't even brought the 10% into battle yet.
I would say you try before you go to sleep. You try one, because I have seen. I think it's Tiger Accelerate, the name of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Austin, I think is his name, and he was doing with just the set S for 5-6 coins, just using 2 ships. And it's a similar build to the one you're using.
Yeah, and K-Dude brought up a good point that we brought up in chat, that we brought up last show, that you could use Explosive System 4 or Combustion System 2 to add your projectile speed and splash for people that are having an issue not wanting to use the fire twisters and using the Charons in order to hit moving targets. I mean, you lose the critical. You lose the critical damage, but you're still hitting your targets.
Right, but the thing is, I'm switching out that cryo because of the critical damage, because they've added so much armor in the S target that it's not. The offset.
Yeah, I think it's over 500,000 points that they have now.
Yeah, it went from like 204 to like 540 or something like that.
Yeah, no, I mean the build I had was fantastic for the way that the S target was before. I mean, yeah, I was tearing through everything. I didn't have to worry about fire fields. It was doing fantastic.
Yeah. I think it's the only time I have seen Kickside say that they changed the armor points of them, and they were not lying. That they changed it.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they changed them significantly. Well, at this point, should I think I'm going to post the post everything if people want to join us at this point, and then for the next 20 minutes or so, we'll just whoever wants to join us can go on. Then we'll go off there and have the after show, unless anybody has anything else at this point they want to
I
add.
thought we were already in open mic.
Yeah, sort of are. Yeah, we sort of are. Unlimited open mic.
Something I'm with Brian, with your subs, were you were hitting tier 5 and tier 6, correct?
Who are you asking?
Sorry, what was that, hon?
You were using your hell rates in tier 5 and tier 6, right?
I mainly did the tier 6. I just prepped for everybody. I didn't really do them.
And was your strategy the same as everyone else?
Well, say that again, please.
Was your strategy the same as everyone else with that?
Well, no, I don't have the patience that a lot of these people have. I just went in and just took out all the big chips and killed whatever I could until I died. Then went back in and then did the regular strategy.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
I'm gonna tell you, I did try to pick apart the S target, and it took me a long time, and I ended up, I think the only difference was 1 coin, and just doing that split blitz is so much faster for about the same damn price. I mean, significantly faster. I can get it down to probably a total of 6 or 7 minutes for the entire target if I'm doing it for myself.
Yeah, the S target's not one. Well, the tier 6 target's not one that's conducive to picking apart. You can't really show a lot of patience because you got the. Well, you go hide in the corner and then come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you get seen by the drones. That
Well,
works
the other-
fantastically.
The other thing with tier 6 is that the fleets that are in there that do drive around, they don't come out to the outer edge. Their boundary is very limited.
No, they've chased me to the corner.
I've never been chased to the corner.
I've made them chase me to the corner because what I try and do is after I activate everything, when I do the split, I'll circle around and try and get them to all stack up together. That way I hit them all at the same time, and I lure them into the corner because they'll actually get stuck up on the side a little bit. You just got to drive it so you kind of corral them because you got to go back and forth. But if you do it right, you can get most of them to stack together so you hit like 10 of them at once. It's great until they all blow up and kill you, but that's another story.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you killed that much as a blind, that must be suicide.
Well, yeah, I'm essentially suiciding every time I go in at the first entry. I don't have enough rank to pull it off. If I had all mine ranked, I probably could pull it off in one go, but not now. I mean, there is a guy that did an S target with the Ghostcrawler for nothing. It took him,
I can't think nothing
or half an hour for no damage.
3 coins, mostly of the guys in my sector, but they take a few attempts to do it.
Yeah, no, he did it. I think he did it for 0 coin, but it took him half hour. I mean, he was in there 3 times. I think it took him the whole time for all 3.
Yeah, he must be one of those that goes for one hulk and all the ships around. And if he's going deep dive to kill them all, probably he's getting the consuming the 10 minutes, I think it is, or something like that.
No, it's just picking it apart. I mean, if you get a good drop, you can go in and start right away. If you get a bad drop, you got to go around the cav fields so you can take advantage of the deep dive.
Yeah, it happened to me a few times. Have to go all around the map because the only way to get it is from the opposite side where you are spawning. Because likely on the tier 5, whatever you approach to the target is where you're going to spawn. In the tier 6, you always spawn in the same place.
Yep.
Well, in tier 6, when I'm prepping all the ships, down to the breath of life, I use the cavitation fields to keep me out of deep dive, so I can keep firing.
Right. But if you, when you're about to kill something, you want to go into deep dive so you don't take any damage.
Right.
You don't want
That's
to be
what
in
I do.
cav field for that. Yeah. That's why I'm saying it took him forever to get to the right spots, so that when he killed something, he wasn't in the cav field, so he could deep dive.
Yeah, that's it takes forever doing it that way.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's why it took him a half an hour to do one target. You know.
I mean, for what?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the Hell Race. I think this right. If people built him with that a blot of armor as one of the specials, it really helps. I mean, I noticed a difference, and I'm like, okay, yeah, a blot of armor is going right on my Hell Wraiths, and I did that, and I'll tell you what, those things can take a pounding, and I think that they're one of the better hulls that have actually worked in this. I mean, when you're prepping down, like for me, I'm prepping for my guys, and you know, they've got tiger sharks or nighthawks or kudas. One of my members even has a banshee, and I mean, yeah, you have to whittle it down, but it's just like, oh my god, you gotta be careful because those things with the fire torps, if you get too close, those things will kill that hull real fast.
Yeah,
But I mean, look again. This is like the Apollo was to the last raid set. You know, I mean, they came out and flat out said, use a blade of armor, use the Hellwraith. You're going to have a better time in this raid than using anything else. I mean, they literally handed us the recipe. You know?
Yeah, they did.
yeah, and it's true because I have my house, and I think they are 85, so just 10% less than the Hell Wraith. Each time they kill one target on that S target, they gave 5 minutes of damage just in a single one, and you can hit 2 or 3 before you get 5 minutes on this Hell Wraith.
Since we have less than 9 minutes to go, I didn't want to leave the show with it, but what happened with the A sets?
That it's too costly to get those mortars away from them because it's costing 900,000 armor, 900,000 points from each of those targets, and I think it's crap.
Well, I mean, why? I mean, if you think about it, a level 80,
Well, I think
it's all new technology. It's all technology. If somebody's hitting the A sets, it's something they got in the last 5 weeks. It's not something they accrued over years. There's somebody slow built or coined in the last 5 weeks. It's not an accumulation of wealth that would be associated with a level division. And that's my issue with it. It has nothing to do with level. It's because it's all brand new stuff, pretty much. I mean, anybody that's going to be hitting these targets has basically like everything that everybody has on these builds besides the Ghostcrawlers.
Now, look.
The big issue I have with it all is that Reagan, the guy that is going to the other show, he was told why they were still punishing from base level, when actually base level doesn't mean tech level of that you own. You can have a high level base just because you have done your walls, but doesn't mean that you have the last tech on you. And he said that he had a formula that they were going to use. He didn't say when, but he said they were going to use, in which they could make, likely in another of his games, I think is the Noble Conflict, in which according to the level of your fleet, you can attack or not that target, or you can get punished on points or not on that target.
That's okay.
But they don't use that.
That's something that they've been talking about. They have not even started implementing that yet. And that really doesn't,
I mean, I brought that up
speak
in
to
a group
why
years ago.
Yeah, that doesn't even speak
honestly,
to why they did this with the A target though. The A target, I mean, from what I'm hearing, the reason why it is the way it is because they made it a lot less difficult than it was originally.
Why not lower the total points? Are people hitting the tier 5 with tiger sharks? I don't think they are they?
I think Ren is, actually.
You can. You get damage, but more much damage, but you can if you want.
Yeah, it
But the
doesn't
problem I
make,
see is that they added the plasma, and the plasma was supposed to help with this because they can modify the damage of that plasma to make the target harder or not. I can understand that the level 5, especially the 75 that you pointed at, was so easy. It's so easy because they removed the mortar. So maybe they should have increased the damage because honestly, tier A with the health rate, if you have a bit of patience, you can do it for free. Maybe that is what they don't want. But from there to remove from each level 80, and that's the other thing. Why you punish from 85 on tier was tier 3 and tier 4 before C and B, and from 80, so 5 levels below, and it's the most punishing thing because the other ones are taking 10% on the tier C or 3 now, and you take 50% if you are on the tier B or tier 4. But if you go for tier A and you are over 80, you're getting 70% less. Because it's not 30% less, it's 70% less. So you're just getting 30% of what you should, plus the bonus for completing the 3 targets.
Hefe, you're the math guy, right? Why don't you tell me how much it actually is for an overall reduction?
I sent you the table. Let me see if I can find the table. I put the table. I sent it to you. I need to.
I don't know. Did you make a slide out of it?
I didn't make a slide. Because I didn't want to go negative with this whole thing because I was like, if you saw my original intro to this show, I was not happy, so I changed it. So
Well,
I didn't want to go negative because I had we've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, initially everyone was a little bit upset. I mean, I said, look, I have full points, tier 5, 2.6 million with the level penalty. It's 1.725. So what is that? Like an actual reduction is what? That's 900?
Yeah,
that's
nearly 900.
Right. So let's just say 900,000, right?
I mean, I know for completion bonus. I know for completion bonuses, if you're above 80 and you hit tier A, if you're below 80, you have to hit the level. I mean, no. I'm sorry. Completion bonus was the wrong word. What I wanted to talk about was hitting 30 million.
It's a 35%. It's a 35%.
You need 12 versus 17. So basically, you need close to 50% more if you're above level 80. Not close, close. It's 40-something%. It's 40% difference that you have to hit more. So you have to hit 12 versus 17.
It's a 35% reduction. That's what it is in reality.
Jefe, I am blaming you for this one because you pushed hard that it was not fair that you were needing the same points for the Basago that you are now needing for the shards you are going to need to get the 10 so you can get the gamma, and they reduce it from 5 million to 4.5 million. You didn't say anything about the points. Look what they did to us. It's your fault.
And they love me. They all have posters of me above their, in their cubicles. It's all Hefe posters that they have because they listen to me so much. I'm sorry, we can go ahead. We can move on from that statement, but
look, I can't defend the decision of what they did. I mean, I can just tell you the thought process that I can see from what's happened. I don't agree with it because the problem is this: everyone that's doing the S set, because right now, the guys that have the Hell Race and have the stuff can do the S sets. We figured out a way to do the S sets so long as you invested a whole lot of time, getting uranium and rolling crews, you're okay. The problem becomes next month when the A sets become harder again, the way they were designed, and then there's 2 S targets that you have to hit to get the S tier done. I really worry about next month.
Is that confirmed that you will need to hit 2, or there will be both?
From the last I heard, we were all under the impression they have to hit 2. I don't know that it's gonna. I mean, it might have 2 targets and you can pick or choose. But the way I read it was that you're gonna have to hit both. It's gonna be just like last raid, 2 targets to do that set.
No, it could be because that's what happened at the end of last set
Right.
of the last raid. But the way it is there, you could understand both ways.
So,
I'm gonna find that table that I put together for.
I have it.
That I sent to people. Okay, you want to screen share? No, or you can screen share. Oh, you don't know how to screen share either, right?
Hold on.
If I had it, I would screen share.
Hold on. I think I got it.
Post it in the Hangout.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I'll present it. 1 second. So this is the difference between, I tried to, I didn't put, like I said, I wasn't going to go negative. So this is the full points if you're below 80 on the top line for completing these tiers. And the bottom line is the penalty that you get. And then on the right-hand side is how many completions you need of that set in order to reach 30 million, which gets you all the new stuff. And it's pretty significant considering the technology difference for a 5-week-old, something that's only, the technology is only 5 weeks old, should have nothing to do with level. It only has to do with coins. So I would love to hear them talk about the logic behind it.
I think part of the problem is they have certain expectations for, like, even though they say that level doesn't count, I think they have certain expectations for people that are at certain levels, and I don't know that they have actually tried to confirm the expectations that they have. If you're a level 90, you should have da 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 da. I think that's kind of what they're trying to do in the way that they set up the raid prizes, where you have to get X before Y before Z. I think it's just so that it's easier for them to actually code stuff and make material for us that everyone can actually enjoy. I think they're actually trying to follow a plan. I just don't know that they're executing it as well as they could. And I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt there, but I don't know.
Yeah, George has gone over to the dark side.
No,
I don't even know what to say.
I'm going to tell you privately. I mean, you can read my blog. It's not like I was nice in my blog. I was pissed. I'm still pissed. I cannot fathom why in a first raid set you would make a cut between players that you essentially sold us the Hellwraith at a premium last raid. Okay, twice the amount of what it is in this raid, and compared to the raid before that at twice the cost for the S targets. Okay, so now you're essentially giving me something at quadruple the price and then mitigating its use in this raid, costing me even more if I want to do the A sets. Logically, and it just doesn't. That doesn't sit well with me. I mean, there's more. There's a lot more that I'm, not happy about. But if you want me to go negative, I could totally go negative. I just don't think that's conducive.
No. I mean, unless I had the picture that we were talking about, but my Photoshop guy is.
No, we're not going there. Not at all. Not at all. I'm not going to let you go there.
I see. But I think it's probably close to time to wrap up the normal show and go to the pre-show, unless anybody else has anything to say.
Pre-show? What have you been drinking?
Not sharing.
Pre-show, whatever.
Can someone let
Does
him
anybody
in the
have?
jar again?
Yes, whatever. But I've been building slides this whole show. It's been very stressful. But does anybody have anything else that we should have in this part of the show, or because I want to stop the broadcast, and anybody that doesn't want to be on YouTube that would prefer to be included afterwards. I'm going to cut the show at this point because we've been going on for an hour. But does anybody have anything to say before that? Even George has nothing to say. All righty. All righty. Well, I'm going to post the Google Hangouts for everybody that'd like to join us in the after show. And I'm going to stop the broadcast. So Clay, K-Dude, anybody else that's been commenting and like to join us, you're welcome to it. But I'm going to stop the YouTube broadcast. But you're welcome to join us in the Google Hangouts. So good night, everybody. And anybody else want to say good night? Kisses,
good night.
anything
Good night,
else?
Guys, thanks for coming out and watching. And
We have
Thanks
to
for
put
watching.
the thing to bed, or they go on their own.
what?
I asked if we have to put them to bed, or they go on their own.
All righty.
Yeah, Mike Tito. All right. Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Yeah.
Okay, good night.
Joyce, I tell you,